I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, all the members are present. The APC, was that for the second, was that, you put that in there for the second reading? Is that what you put it in there for?
Oh, just the department reports. I listed everybody.
No, not, this is up above that. The APC right here.
Oh, yep, they're canceled tonight. It's good to take them off. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I talked to most of you about the APC. This is what it looks like. The proposal from when Marcellus was here when we had that meeting, and everybody's gonna have a copy of this, and I wanna just set it back for at least another week, and everybody read this and make marks in it if you would. If you disagree with something that they've come up with, and we'll discuss it next week. We've got another meeting first Monday next week. Okay. Park board, nobody's here. Fire department.
For 2025, this is our first meeting we've had since 25. So just to wrap up, we ended the year with 535 total runs in the department. Again, it's increasing. I think we were 520 or 510 the year before. We're still going up. So far this year, we're only at 28 for January. It's about half of what we were last year. So a slower start to the year, but we're not complaining. Some notes, every first of the year, we have a meeting that we re-elect our members for our board and our duty officers. This year, I put my name in for fire chief, and I got the majority vote of the membership. So as of the 6th, I'm now the fire chief of that department. I assigned the 2 assistant chiefs, so I asked Steve to go in that role, help the transition, and he's obviously familiar with town, and he works right here at Stall Cop, so it's nice having somebody close by if there's issues during the day. And then the other assistant chief is Jerry Seymour, who lives out in Washington Township, so kind of gets coverage for both areas. And then we vote on the training captain, that's Cody Seymour, the fire lieutenants, Brandon Beasley, and EMS lieutenants, Olivia Richardson. And those are duty officers that more have a lead role out in the field. And we also have our own board that get voted on as well. So the president is now Dalton Davis, vice presidents, Derek Babcock, and then secretary treasurer, Rick Davis. Those are our new members for 2026. With that, I've met and had a plan kind of with your board. I'm staying on that same path, but I have my own little twist to it to make sure we're staying up on the ready and growing as a department with our community that's growing. So a couple of requests off the bat. Engine 31, I think, is an underutilized engine for our area. It's a 2011 and only has 13,000 miles, and it's by far the best truck we have in that bay. It serves the best purpose for the whole community by having a larger cab with more people. So I'd like to start taking advantage of that as it's getting to its point where age-wise shouldn't be first due for runs, but the way we've maintained it, the way it stayed inside a heated and cool or heated bay, it's got plenty of life left. So I'd like to utilize that life while we have it available. So I'm asking for a $10,000 allowance to kind of do some upgrades, rearrange some compartments, both inside the cab and on the shelving space and hose beds to make it more of a all-purpose truck versus just responding to only fire runs for us. As well, we're getting more and more calls where we're out on a single call for a medical, for a lift assist or something, and then we get called to a fire alarm or a motor vehicle accident. And typically we have to drive all the way back to the station, grab some other vehicle and drive all the way back to the incident. Trying to work out what's best to run an engine full time to everything. That's a lot of driving on those larger trucks and everywhere. So a compromise would be if we could utilize You guys had that white four-door long bed truck. It would be able to fit more equipment in it than our rescue does now. I know Earl has it, and if it's not even an option, it can be dismissed, but it would be a great fit for us to be able to fit more people and more equipment that would make us have tools and at least our SCBA packs available if we are somewhere near an incident. As well, like a weekend like this, it'd be great to have a truck with a plow on it. And if we have to get to a patient's house, a patient's driveway, to get apparatus, to get the ambulance in versus walking all the way through 8 inches of snow with a stretcher. Fortunately, we had a light weekend, so appreciate everybody staying in for that. But having an apparatus that would help us get closer to those doors would be helpful. I don't need an answer on that one, just a discussion. I've not said a word to him about it, it's new, but if that's something that's optional, that's an asset you guys already own. Obviously, it's not me asking for a new one. That's utilizing it. That's something feasible. And then I also put our future spending still. We're still on track for all new gear for 15 members for 28, and then a new engine for the town in 2030 and 2031. So again, the plan with that, your guys' town engine, is to utilize it more with the thought that the township's about ready to buy a new one, and that one would be utilized more often when the town would be second to everything. That we would be first to everything. So some changes in how we've normally done things, but it's the best interest of the community, getting the best service, the most guys there that can hit the ground running when they get out of those trucks. Sorry, that was a lot, but I'd like to have, again, more conversations with you guys all that outline the plan, work with Ally on finance and staying within our needs. I understand that.
Good.
On that Ford, are you saying you want to just use it when you need to, or are you saying you want it as a piece for
So
the park?
it would have all our medical equipment in it, some quick combi extrication tool, and a couple packs and some other gear that would stay in it full time. So yeah, it would be full time request.
On that 10K allowance for engine 31, you have more than
Okay.
a sufficient amount in your public safety lit fund at this moment in time.
Anybody got anything else? Questions? Is that it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Police department.
I didn't get your reports to you. I had some technical difficulties today. I'll give it to you tomorrow.
Was your computer down too?
It was.
Mine's been down for 2 days.
I'm not sure what the problem is.
I'm not either.
The computer or internet?
My internet's down.
Yours is? Who do you have?
Thorntown.
Frontier?
I just checked it a little while ago and it was sporadic. It was up, but
Yeah, mine hadn't been up for 2 days.
it wasn't generating enough to pull anything. It was pretty laggy. So we'll check tomorrow.
I'm thinking about calling them to see if they want to just divide their bill up by 30 and take a couple days off of it. I don't think they want to do that. Okay. Earl?
I have one thing for you guys. It's the end of January, and we normally pull all the Christmas lights either down or shut them off. Brady Nicholson across the street would like us to keep them up for at least through the first week of February. He's having his grand opening type of tour of the businesses that week, and he just thinks it enhances the evening. I told him it was okay unless anybody has anything different to say about it. Normally we take them down now, but we won't this year until probably the second week of February,
Probably be a little warmer too.
maybe.
Maybe.
I hope it's not any colder.
Yeah. Anybody on the board got a complaint? Okay, go ahead. Anything else, Earl?
No, that's it.
Looks like Mr. Wolfe, it's up to you.
I've been working on several things, but I don't have anything kind of finalized yet to bring to you, so still working on most
Okay.
of my stuff.
Ally?
In this section, the only thing that I have is I was going to ask for approval to pay the Patriot Engineering invoice for the geotechnical exploration. It was originally approved, their proposal, at not to exceed $8,300, but there was an additional $1,200 for private utility locate added to the invoice. So I just wanted to get approval prior to paying that.
That additional for the private locate, that was listed in the contract, wasn't it?
It
As
was as a possibility.
possibility.
Yeah. It also, though, the rock coring was included on that invoice. So they ended up using the geotechnical initial fee, the rock coring, and then that private utility locate. So it ended up being the entirety of that $9,500 instead of the initial $8,300 discussed.
I'll make a motion to allow Howard to pay the Patriot invoice.
$9,500.
Yeah.
Mayor, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is that all you got?
For that, yes.
Okay, on these, allowance documents, what are we doing with those?
I've got the claims to go around at the end of the meeting for signature.
Okay.
These are through January, along with 2 allowance dockets. And then I did some catching up on minute meetings. So there are 4 sets of minute meetings: the December 15th minutes, December 22nd minutes, December 31st minutes, and then the previous meeting, the January 5th minutes.
Okay. On unfinished business, the document from the CBS engineer.
Yes, Dan sent over a document today. Your copy is in your folder, but there's a copy for everybody. It just needs to be notarized and signed by you, Grumpy. So he asked if we could get that notarized and then sent back to him when you have an opportunity.
He said, who?
This one right here. And we do have all 3 of those documents listed. He's going to send over copies of everything. But we already have all 3 of those documents.
So I need to sign this.
It needs to be notarized too. So
We don't have
Sandy and
that.
I are not notaries. Yeah, so we'll have to go to the bank or something tomorrow when they're open
Okay.
again.
Yeah, so we can't do that tonight. They'd probably do it if I signed it, but I just shouldn't wait and go up there and do it.
That sounds good.
Okay. Then we got a discussion we need to do of Kleinpeter Consulting. And that had to do with that pay.
Yeah, the grant administrative services contract that he discussed at that meeting that I was sick for. He was looking for an initial $42,000, which is 60% of the total fees to collect upon execution of the contract. Those funds could come from the water capacity. I don't know that I feel super confident in handing over 42,000 when I thought it was going to come from the bond. So, which should, based on the timeline in here that was submitted, with this engagement letter from Ice Miller, it should close quickly. If you guys would want to give out that full 60%, we can pull that and pay for it from those capacity fees. We're not getting another check from Arbor until April, and we've got CDS and engineering fees coming out of there right now too. So I didn't know if Mike did say a partial payment would be suffice as well.
Okay with however you guys put it together, but
Yeah.
that is reimbursable, so once the bond is completed.
Okay.
So it's however you want to do it.
Well, I recommended to her that we paid 20%. We'll give him a check for 20% of it. If that's okay with the rest of the council, we'll pay 20% of it now. And if he's got if Mike has a problem with that, he can call me and talk to me. But I think we're really stretching it to try to pay the whole thing. But I'm sure he'd like to have it all, but we just don't have it all right now to do.
Well, I was pretty sure he said that,
Say you work with it.
yeah, he said he's worked on it so far to this point with no payments, so he said he was fine with whatever.
Okay.
So then I can have Amy update that portion of the contract and then send it back over, and then it'll just need to get your signature. And we can get that to Mike, and then he'll be under contract with that. So
Okay.
just wanted to make sure that worked out.
I'll make a motion to
Yeah.
pay 20%.
I'll make a motion to pay 20% of Kleinpeter's invoice and allow Grumpy to sign it once that's done.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, so we're good for that. Okay. New business, we do what we got there. We got any paperwork for the water treatment plant project?
Yeah. Jared and Amy looped in bond counsel for the water expansion project. So an engagement letter from Ice Miller, who I believe you guys have utilized before, is included, along with a timeline, which is a quick timeline coming up. So if all looks all right with the engagement letter, then we could get a signature on it and get moving on that one. The total amount due for their services would come out of the bond funds. So the engagement letter is included, a copy is included in everybody's folders. It would be 35 to 40,000 is the range based upon the financing and time expected. Is there anything else about it?
Who's gonna handle it?
Heather James. Do you need a copy of the timeline?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I have worked with Heather a lot over the years at Ice Miller, so we contacted her. If you guys have questions for her.
What sewer ordinances changes have we got? I didn't even know we had any changes for sewer.
Oh, that's this packet of stuff. IDEM made some changes.
I didn't do, probably nobody on the council knows about it. Okay? You guys know anything about sewer ordinance changes?
Do you want me to jump to that one? I can.
Yeah, well, this other, on the other one, that's for me to sign, right? For the treatment plant. Krohn Engineering and
Yeah, they
Ice
Krohn
Cream.
also sent an engagement letter for their services regarding the bonds.
That's something for me to sign.
And if you, a motion for both, would they need a motion for both to accept the engagement letters?
Yeah, I would do it separately.
Okay.
So you want to accept Chrome first, and then since they're the ones that brought Ice Miller, and you do that one.
So who's, I sign that? Is that what? All of us,
Should have signature too.
all of us
Yes,
sign it?
no, it's just a client authorized
Should
representative.
be you,
Yeah.
Grumpy.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need authorized Grumpy to sign it on behalf of the board.
All right, I will make a motion to accept the engagement letter from Cronin Associates and allow Grumpy to sign said document.
I hear a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes. And B, Ice Miller.
I will make a motion to accept the engagement letter from Ice Miller and allow Grumpy to sign the engagement letter.
I hear a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Well, I don't know about utility sewer changes since nobody on the council knows about it. We need time to
Well,
read about what the changes are.
yeah, and I found out today that Amy said because they changed that section 4 with the different, they changed section 4 with the types of enforcement response, and Amy said it would require a public hearing.
Right.
So we need to get that one on there. So she is preparing the ordinance and the public hearing announcement. And so, but IDEM came in December.
Well, first off, IDEM said that they had talked to Gary about this previously. And then they got a hold of me and said, hey, where are you at on this? Why isn't it finished? So then they came up and visited me with all the changes. Now, most of them are simply a couple words, literally a couple words is all it is. And they gave us the language to change. We changed it for them. And I mean, this has been what, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, maybe?
There was,
And so we're just now bringing it to you to finalize. So if it has to go through Amy, I knew it had to be, change an ordinance, it has to be a public reading. So that's all it really is. You're gonna have, she has the changes, she identified what they are, but literally speaking, some of them are simply a couple words.
yeah, there were 5 sections changed. And so Amy is writing the ordinance to repeal and replace those 5 sections. And then there was an update to the ERP, the enforcement response procedures. And that's what, there was a lot of formatting on there that
Right.
caused the problem. But it is now complete and sent to Amy. So she is, I can get copies of the section changes over to you guys, but she's going to prepare an ordinance and then we'll
Okay.
sign off on the ordinance and then we'll have to have a public hearing and everything as well on that. So, and then, yeah, second reading and adoption. So,
Okay, so we'll table that for, Amy will probably be here next week. We can't do anything until she will get her paperwork, right?
Right, yeah. I just wanted to let you guys know that that was coming and a public hearing would take place on that.
Okay. And Earl on the, Eric said he had a lady who was gonna take his place on the BZA. Do you know who that is?
I'm not even familiar that he found someone. No, so I don't know. I mean,
He said that, and he said who it was, though. Huh?
Who said this?
Eric.
Eric Smith.
Because I asked Eric if he would do it, and he said he would, but that was before you guys elected him on the board as the president of the utility
Oh,
board.
you,
So we need somebody, he said he had somebody to replace him, but I don't know who it is.
well, that was for the county.
It's for the
Yes.
county BZA, so you don't do that until you've adopted
We,
it.
yeah, we don't even have to worry about that right now.
Yeah, you'll do that next, like, 1-2 weeks, or 3 weeks, however that would be.
They are on the
Okay.
lookout for one additional individual
Yeah.
though to do the,
But, well, I think Eric found somebody, but I don't know who it is, that said they would do it.
Yeah, and if there's somebody out there that wants to talk about it, I'd be happy to explain what the responsibilities would be to anybody. So,
Okay. Well, and this is for two that Marcellus and Amy were trying to get the quorum for the town's BZA so that they could issue a variance to Tim and Shauna under the new UDO within Thorntown.
So they're looking for the additional person to the Thorntown.
So the
BZA.
Thorntown BZA.
So we
So
only had one member, right?
Dawn, yeah. So we would need an additional appointment
And they want that done prior to,
prior to going to the county APC.
okay?
You know, Amy, when she talked to me about it, and that's what she'd like to have them go through Thorntown first, rather than just say, we've moved everything to Lebanon, so you gotta go over there and do it. So that was what the whole thing was about. But I don't know who that person is, so we can't do anything about it till we find out who it is.
But if there is, one single person, it would be a single item at a single meeting, just one meeting for this particular variance. And that's all that we
You
would
only
need
have
them
3
for.
members, so as long as you get one more member, you could have a quorum.
I don't even know how many we have now.
There was only the one, yeah.
Dawn,
Don.
Don Gray,
yeah,
okay. So what you're referring to is Eric is with the county BZA. He can't do that. So we need 2 more people.
You'll need one, and that person could be the same for both. You could appoint them to the town BZA and then subsequently to the county, if they'd be willing to do that.
Right.
it has to be a person in town that's not elected to anything.
Can't be elected, can't be one of the,
Elected or appointed.
And the UDO public hearing did get pushed back to next Monday. So they'll have that at 6 p.m. next Monday prior to the town council meeting.
they're gonna be here at 6, you said?
Yes. Yeah.
But what's their purpose on their meeting?
The public hearing for the UDO for this thing.
The zoning board.
Yeah, but I want the council, everybody have a copy of this and read it, because I've got a lot of things that I don't like in there right off the bat, and I haven't read it all. And I don't know how they can pass it if we don't agree with it.
Well, the meeting at 6 would be the time to bring up those concerns next week.
Well, they have to do a public hearing
Right.
for it, and that's what they're talking about doing. But it still has to come to us, back to us
Yeah.
for approval.
You still have to approve it. So
So,
the public hearing will be for the APC to give you the recommendation to adopt it.
right,
Right.
right.
Well, that's what I thought. They were pretty forceful with that the other night when we had that meeting. They were here, and they thought everything they put in there was hunky dory, and I think that's wrong, because there's a heck of a lot of pages here that most of us don't know anything about. And I personally don't agree with several things they brought up the other night. So there's a lot of things in there to go through, and that's what I want everybody to have a copy of it and have it, agree to at least go through it before next next meeting, which is next Monday night, and then I don't have a problem coming up here at 6:00. But I don't see how they can go have a reading and pass anything before
Well, that,
agree that.
but they are. But that doesn't mean we have to accept it.
Yeah, you can make changes to it after it lands on your desk.
They have to have a public hearing
Yeah, I know it.
for that document.
But they're pushing their public hearing to get it done. They could,
Right, well,
They
they're
could wait
pushing
another
it,
month
they're
or-
pushing it so that we can get this done and join the county. They want this done and in place before we join the county,
yeah.
because that's what the
I
county's
understand
gonna go by. But that, just because they're pushing it, and they still have to send it to us for approval.
that. Okay.
So we don't have to approve it next Monday night. We can send, what happens if we send it, but if we don't accept it, we send it back to them and say,
Yeah, well, you can make the changes yourself.
we can't.
Yeah, so, I would recommend you probably send it back though, so that she can put it in a form that the language works right.
Right.
But if you have changes you want made, you need to let her know as soon as possible so she can work on those.
Okay, so we
She
don't,
being-
Yeah, she's been working on it with Marcellus.
right. So even if they do have their public hearing and they finalize it on their end, we don't have to accept it the way it is. So,
They're just sending it to you with a recommendation one way or the other, and then you guys get to make a decision on the final product.
yeah.
Okay,
So if Amy can get it, or someone can get us copies of that, then we'd have the rest of this week to read over.
I can print it.
yeah. I was supposed to do that, so we'll all have a copy of it.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll find out, I guess, next Monday, we'll find out. Eric will probably be here, only next Monday.
Right.
If he comes in next Monday, we'll find out who it is that whoever the woman is that wanted to be on the BZA, we'll kind of finalize that. Is the W.A.V.E lease is due?
Yeah, so the W.A.V.E lease, they're at that end of the initial 3-year lease that they signed. And so I put a copy in everybody's folders. I believe the only change I was gonna make aside from the dates, or have Amy make aside from the dates, are that they have since become their own nonprofit. So the Thorntown Christian Church was included in this original lease, and they would no longer need to be. I didn't know if there were any other requested changes that
So
You'd
they're
like to see?
they're 501c3.
they are, yes. Yep.
Okay.
But if there are any other changes that you'd like to see in the contract for any reason, we can make those changes prior to bringing it for signature. I just wanted to run that by all of you.
Okay, so this is it right here, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't find anything in there that you didn't like, or have you read it?
I read it, but I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know if all had gone well for the last 3 years, and
Oh.
it was fine to just change the name.
For the lease,
Yeah.
what are they changing the name?
Well, Thorntown Christian Church was originally included, but W.A.V.E has since become their own nonprofit.
Okay,
So aside from changing the dates, that was the only other change that was going to be made, unless you guys would like to see a different adjustment made somewhere in there to anything.
I was kind of, since that's in here, I was kind of wondering why Angie didn't come in to, she might not be able to get in town, I don't know. But,
I told her I'd bring it up first. If
Oh,
she,
okay.
she can come to a meeting if you guys would like for her to be here. I told her I was just gonna present for any requested changes initially.
it's the same
I think everything's the same
lease
except,
agreement, except for the name.
taking the Christian church off of it. I don't have a problem with the lease myself.
When does the current lease expire?
December 31st. We're a little over it.
it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're working inside the new lease right now that we don't have.
Well, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
We can vote on it now if you want. And Amy's gone over it, or she will go over it.
I have not sent it. I just sent it to her. So.
All right. I'll make a motion to accept the lease for the WAVE with the changes that are marked on here pending legal review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. So we will, she can write that up without the Christian church on there and we can sign it and we will go.
Okay.
Good to go.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You guys still want, do you wish to have, Angie come in and talk about it or not? Are you comfortable with what's on here?
Pretty much the same lease.
It's the same lease.
It's same as last year's, yeah.
It's not been a problem the last 3 years.
Okay. Anybody else out there got anything for the good of the meeting?
We need to go back to the minutes. You kind of skipped over. If everyone had a chance to read the minutes. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for December 15th, December 22nd, December 31st, and January 5th.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes are accepted. Okay, the only thing we got left is what we gotta sign, right?
Yes.
What about, Chief Whitaker's request, current request? We kind of skipped over that, or do we even discuss that?
For the,
The 10,000, not,
Do what, Gary? I
the
didn't hear.
$10,000.
his,
Chief Whitaker requested for upgrading the truck that they have.
Oh, yeah, she said he has the money in the lit fund.
Yeah, maybe 31.
I didn't know if we had to vote on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she got that right.
Yep, thank you. I don't know what the threshold is, so I was,
Yeah.
we can discuss that.
That sounds good. Yep. I'm getting those answers. And then, yeah, I'll get some dates so that we can get a
Great.
meeting on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Frank, the new truck's in, isn't it? Is it? Huh?
It's almost done.
Oh, not being used yet then.
They're waiting on me. So
Oh,
are you
yeah.
just waiting on me with the plate, license plate, and everything? Yeah. I'm following up with you.
No, there's a couple other things.
Okay.
We're in the middle of transfer stuff out of this.
You gonna, when are you gonna get rid of the cars?
So we've got the charges stripped down now. We're just getting ready to start on the other one. We'll get some more water.
Okay.
Heat gun will take, it's cold, so as soon as we get those stripped down, we'll get them out of here.
I think I'm the only one that signs that one. You gotta sign it and date it.
Oh, okay.
That one.
You haven't been around since we've done claims yet, have you? So we're through everything, okay. All we've got left is claims.
Yes.
I wish you had a copy here. It's just, if you read down through there, you're gonna see.
Sure. Yeah, and I'll scroll through and look at it.
Some of those too, especially like the AT&T and internet are 2 months. I thought I had to close out the accounting system, but I could continue on. And then when I close it out, it just wraps up the year. So I had been postponing until I closed it out, but we're back on track with that.
We have any, the allowance, the always got it. These are basically the same thing as what she printed off for us. She just tries to make it easier to read. But
And then, do you want to go ahead and sign these two? The engagement letters. Do you have any time tomorrow to go get this notarized? I'll be up here tomorrow if we need this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you supposed to sign this right here? Client authorized representative.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. There's a lot going on. It's going to get faster too, isn't it? When the bomb starts.
I told you,
Well,
told all day today. Everything else.
Okay.
more is part of it.
Okay. Thank you.
But I just wanted.
Okay. I think that's everything I have.
Good. You can make a motion, we close the meeting at 7:45.
Hold on.
Hold on.
So I want this UDO, what things are on there that like you don't like, so that we can all kind of ponder it when you're when we're looking this
The
over.
thing I don't like is the setbacks. They've cut the setbacks in half on the properties. And I don't like those 900-foot homes instead of the 1,200 that we made them build out here. Of course, anybody that's already built here in town, and this affects everybody, all the properties in town, but anybody that's already built's obviously grandfathered, no matter what their structure is, if they've already violated whatever we put in there. But they've cut down housing to be, on the side properties would be 5 feet. Well, if you got a house on each side of the 5-foot property line, you got 10 foot inside, and that's all you got between the house. You already got room for a lawnmower between there, let alone anything else. I think it ought to be a minimum of 10 feet anyway on each side. And then the rear, I think they cut that down to 10, I think, on the rear property line. I'm not sure I have a problem with that so much as the sides. But I haven't read all of it either. I need to go through the rest of it and mark it up. So what, if you guys
Is there
find something,
is there still a provision in there that you can only build on a certain percentage of your
Yes.
lot size?
Yes.
It's still in there?
Yeah.
And what's that percentage?
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
That's
There was a
fine.
lot.
Huh?
There was a lot of stuff that we talked about that.
Yeah. But there was a percentage on an outbuilding, but it couldn't be so much. I don't remember what but yes, there was a percentage. The other thing was too, that an outbuilding can't be taller than the peak of the house. That's in there. Without, I mean, if you wanted to build something taller, you'd have to get a variance
That's,
to do it.
yeah, that.
But I think that's been in there for years probably.
Yeah.
Build up and then.
Well, it has a max of 24 foot. For the
You
peak.
remember what it was, Jeff?
Well, that's a common, that height of the outbuilding not exceeding the house is pretty common.
And I'm talking about the percentage of the property that can be.
Typically, it's around 60. I haven't looked at that one yet.
What's the purpose of that?
It prevents, well, it has a lot to do with your drainage for one thing. Keeps too much runoff off your lot. So if you cover 90% of your lot, all your rain is going to your neighbors.
Okay.
And then it also has to do with just the appearance of the property, being crowded property lines. So, there's a lot of reasons for it. And they go back, most zoning ordinances have that in it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's been in ours for a long time. I just didn't remember what it was. Is that all you had? Side setbacks?
Right now it is. 'Cause
And the
I
square
haven't-
footage?
I haven't been through it. Yeah, I haven't been through all of it yet.
Okay. You have a copy?
Yeah,
You can
I
make
can get
copies of-
copies printed for everybody.
That all you got?
Can't disagree with that.
Yeah, you ready? They're ready to close if you want.
Yeah. Make a motion to close the meeting at 7:50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Huh?